Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you are. My name is John, or Less Frontier Bricks, and this is my review of the Lego May 4th, 2025 gift with purchases, specifically the Millennium Falcon Polybag and the Camino Training Facility. The Millennium Falcon Polybag is set number 30708, comes with 74 pieces, and was free with a purchase of $40 or Lego Star Wars sets. Although you can't pick it up at Walmart for $5. And the Camino Training Facility was a Lego Store exclusive, set number 40765 with 190 pieces and 3 figures, and was free with a purchase of $160 or more. I don't have the third gift with purchase, the Jango Fett's Slave 1 keychain, because that was a gift with purchase which you could only get if you got the UCS Jango Fett's Slave 1, which I did not. We'll go ahead and take a look at these one by one, starting with that poly bag. We got a nice image of the Millennium Falcon in hyperspace with Darth Vader there on the bottom. Nothing going on in the back. Go ahead and get the bag open real quick. Again, you can pick this up at Walmart for like $5 if you weren't able to participate in the May 4th promo. So we got a... There we go. I think that's all the pieces. There we go. And we do have a little fold-out sheet for our instruction manual. Oh, first off, we got a nice little CGI render of the little poly bag. And again, the instructions are a little fold-out sheet. Actually did it a little differently, because usually the images are right side up, holding the page down like that. But this time they did the instructions horizontally instead of vertically. So we'll go ahead and jump into a quick time-lapse of this build, starting right now. Alright, the build is done. That took about 5 minutes max. Just a heads up, this is actually the second time recording this section of the video, because apparently the first time I accidentally recorded it without sound. Whoopsie. So yeah, unfortunately there won't actually be an unboxing for the Camino cloning facility, because again, this is the second time recording it and I've already built the set. Anyway, for the little Millennium Falcon polybag build, it's actually pretty decent. The build for the Falcon, you got a lot of detail. See, with some gray ingot pieces here, a few accents of red. You can see the escape pods in the back. You got your dorsal turret. You got the nice antenna. One thing I will say is that I wish they printed the cone piece here for the cockpit. They've done that before on the microfighters, but I'm not really sure why they. So I'm not really sure why they did do it here. Plus, taking a look underneath, you can see that they've got the landing gear. But unfortunately, like a lot of these small Millennium Falcon builds, they always seem to neglect the ventral turret. So they always leave that out. I don't know why. Plus in the back, you can see that they've got some 1x2 transparent blue plates in there that represent the engine exhaust. So all in all, besides for a few tiny nitpicks, this is actually a pretty solid poly bag. I don't think I'd mind picking this up at Walmart for $5, but I'm glad that we managed to get it for free anyway. As for the Camino training facility, like I said, this is my second time recording this section of the video, so unfortunately I can't do an unboxing again. But taking a look at the box art, you can see all 3 of your clone cadets, which is really nice. This is probably the only way we'd be able to get those clone cadets, although I do wish we could get the training armor version of the clone cadets. But you got some pretty solid builds with a tower or a barricade where you can hold some weapons, and what I initially thought was a droid, but it's actually a vehicle. So all in all, nice box art on the front, as well as in the back, where again you can see a couple of plate features like putting in a clone in the vehicle, being able to rotate the engines, as well as clip on some weapons on that barricade. Once you open the box, you'll find three numbered bags, as well as a small instruction manual, which unfortunately, mine's in some pretty rough shape, because you'll see not only is this pretty well bent, but actually, while I was building the thing, you'll notice that a couple pages came loose. Like, that wasn't me roughhousing in it. That was literally just me turning the pages. So yeah, got a pretty bad instruction manual. But opening up the instruction manual, you once again see add the 4 paper bags in a set without them. Then you just jump straight into the build, and you got a couple pages of your parts list. So yeah, nothing too crazy going on here. No other sets that being advertised in the instruction manual. But while I couldn't, while I did have to re-record this section, I do still have the time lapse recorded. So we'll go ahead and jump into that section, starting right now. Alright, the build is done. That took about, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. And one thing I definitely gotta say is my instruction manual was in a bit worse shape than I thought, because, yeah, take a look. I got a couple of pages that, just popped loose. And like, that wasn't like me roughhousing this thing. That just happening from me turning the pages. So yeah, rather disappointing. This set was only available for a week, so as was the instruction manual, and mine was in pretty poor condition. So yeah, rather unfortunate. Anyway, we'll go ahead and take a look at the actual sets. Starting off with the figures. Again, they're all 3 of them are the same figure, but I do like the hairpiece that it gave them. They have this same skin tone we've been getting since the original 501st Battle Pack. They only have the one face, so a little disappointing. I kind of thought they'd do a double face, because the hair certainly covers up enough. But they could absolutely do that. But I do like the face that they have. One thing note is that they actually gave the clones the accurate color arms, because basically the red is just almost like a vest, well, except for the torso, while the dark red is more of an undersuit. So yeah, it's actually supposed to be that darker red. I do like that he gave them some good arm printing with the numbers there. Also, I was gonna say, I think they might have given different the arm prints instead for the troopers, but apparently that wasn't the case. Yes, but anyway, you got some nice print printing on the torso, like some nice folds in there, and nice print for the belt. Got dual molded legs for the boots, and strangely enough, you may have noticed this, that they gave each trooper a different blaster. Got one of them's got the standard Han Solo blaster, one's got the Rebel Trooper blaster, and the other has the blaster rifle with the candle attachment. So all three, you get 3 troopers, 3 different styles of blasters. Very interesting. Starting off with the first build, you got a small turret. Super simple, but the fact that the top twists actually kind of reminds me of the Separatist Tri-Droid, like you see in the Clone Wars movie and Revenge of the Sith, where it's like it'll shoot once or twice, then swap to the next cannons, allowing the other cannons to reload. Oh, so I actually kind of like that little detail. Next up, you got a small little weapons rack, which again has another variation of the blaster. It's just the large blaster rifle like this guy has, just without the candle attachment. And as you can see, you can clip on a couple other weapons. Like, it's almost like a larger weapon rack than what you get in an advent calendar, but it's a nice little attachment. Also, they actually provide an extra the Han Solo style blaster pistols, so you can just clip that on there as well. And then we got the big build, and I actually have to apologize to you guys. This actually is a vehicle. According to Star Wars lore, it is called a KE-8 Enforcer. and it's basically a patrol craft at the Camino facilities. It's armed with some like electrosin, uh, electric taser, hurts and to take care of some clones that are getting a bit too uppity. But it's also used to observe the clones for any that are excelling. You'll see keep an eye out for clones that are excelling in their training to either bump them up to a more difficult level of training or bump them up to officer or ARC trooper training. So yeah, pretty cool that these guys only show up briefly in Attack of the Clones, which is where we get these clone variants. Again, I'd love to get the training armor like we see with Domino Squad. I'll put a picture in the video up right now to show you guys what I'm talking about. Again, nice that it'd be nice to get those, but it's also nice that we got the figures we got, as you wouldn't really mass an army of these guys to begin with, so this would basically be the best time to be able to get this variation of clone. Anyway, I do like the droid. Again, it only shows up briefly in Attack of the Clones, but it looks pretty accurate to what you see. Yeah, the cockpit can open up, so you can place a clone in there. You got a couple studs in there, so you can get your clone buddy, get your clone trooper in there. Don't know how well it'll close up with the blaster. Okay, probably not. You probably want to take the blaster out in order to get him to fit in there. But it fits in there just fine. And you do have the rotating thrusters, which rotate a full 360 degrees. And as you can see, you got this lower portion lowers down, so you can land the thing. Although once in flight mode, it does extend the whole way, which again, it's actually pretty big. It's actually pretty big for what it is. I'd almost say fully extended, this thing's almost a foot long. So yeah, it's a pretty sizable bit. I like all the thrust details going on there, like it in the back of the cockpit and underneath underneath the thrusters. Plus, you got one underneath the cockpit. So all in all, $160 for what, if I remember right, would have been if I believe the Lego website said if they had sold this, normally this would be around a $30 set. This actually isn't all that bad. You can get 3 copies of the same guy. So if you are able to get multiple of these guys, you could get a pretty decent squad per set. You could get a pretty decent squad. And the little additions are pretty nice. Plus, since the Enforcer droid again only appears briefly in Attack of Clones, so Camino said would basically be the only thing we would get this guy in. So yeah, pretty solid. In the gift with purchase is for $160. So for the 2 I did get, I'm actually pretty happy with the May 4th promos this year. I'm glad I was able to get a hold of them. So that'll be my review on these 2 sets. Thanks for joining me for it. If you guys enjoyed it, you know what to do. Hit like, subscribe, all that stuff. Ring the bell to be notified of all videos as soon as they become available. Check out my channel and some more of my content on the end screen in just a few seconds. And I will see you all in the next video. Later, everybody.